This presentation was put together by the State of Hawaii Office of Elections and will guide you through voting in Hawaii and what you need to know to cast your vote in 2020. The mission of our office is to provide secure, accessible, and convenient elections. Our goal is to ensure that Hawaii's voters are confident in the integrity of our election process and to remove the barriers that may prevent an eligible person from voting. Elections are conducted as a joint effort between our office, the State Office of Elections, and the 4 county election offices. Although we work collaboratively, we each have separate roles and responsibilities. The responsibilities of the county offices include voter registration and the delivery and return of mail ballots. The State Office of Elections is responsible for candidate filing, ballot and counting operations, and voter education. Candidate filing is a process in which candidates qualify to run for office. We also oversee the printing, counting, and tabulation of ballots. Finally, our office is responsible for raising voter awareness and providing election services through education and outreach. Let's start with a quick overview of the structure of elections. In Hawaii, elections are conducted every even-numbered year, with a primary election held in August and a general election held in November. These elections decide the officials who represent you and your community at the federal, state, and county levels of government. Listed here are the offices up for election in 2020. Each office has varying term lengths. For example, the term for U.S. Representative is 2 years, while the term for Mayor is 4 years. Remember that the contests that appear on your ballot are dependent on the district that you live in, so the candidates on your ballot may be different from someone who lives on another part of the island. As mentioned earlier, the primary election is held in August. The purpose of the primary is to select candidates to represent the political parties in the general election. There are 7 qualified parties in Hawaii, which are the Aloha Aina Party, American Shopping Party, Constitution Party, Democratic Party, Green Party, Libertarian Party, and Republican Party. Alternatively, voters can choose to vote on the nonpartisan ballot. Let's watch how to properly mark your primary election ballot.
Here's a couple tips to help you with the primary election.
On your ballot, review the instructions.
Select a political preference.
Then, find your selected political preference and only vote for the candidate within that ballot.
Remember, if you vote outside your selected preference or vote for more than the number of candidates allowed, your vote won't count.
For more information, contact the Office of Election.
Following the primary, the general election is held in November. In the general election, you can vote for any candidate of your choice, regardless of party affiliation. For example, you can vote for a Green Party candidate in the race for your U.S. Representative, and a Libertarian Party candidate in the race for your state senator. We want to remind you that the presidential primary elections are not conducted by our office. The primaries to nominate each party's president and vice president candidate are conducted by the respective parties. You may find party contact information on our website to learn more. Hawaii voters will see the contest for president and vice president on the general election ballot. Now that we've covered how elections are conducted, next we'll discuss the first step in participating, which is to register to vote. To qualify to register, you must be a U.S. citizen, a resident of Hawaii, and at least 16 years old. Hawaii is one of only a few states whose election laws allow for pre-registration. This means that at 16 years old, you can register and will automatically be eligible to vote at age 18. To help encourage pre-registration and early civic engagement, our office conducts the Young Voter Registration Program, where we provide high school students opportunities to register to vote. Registration can be completed either online, by mailing in a physical application, or by visiting a state or county elections office. The quickest and most convenient way to register is by visiting olvr.hawaii.gov and using the online voter registration system. The website allows you to register to vote, update your name or address, and confirm your voter record. You will need your Hawaii driver's license or state ID and the last 4 digits of your social security number to use the website. Alternatively, you can complete and return a physical application as shown here. These applications are widely available throughout the state, including libraries and your local post office. In the next section, we'll cover elections by mail and what you can expect this year. Many Hawaii voters have skipped the polling place in recent years and instead have chosen to cast a ballot before Election Day. Turnout for early voting has continued to grow, and in 2018, 87% of early voters did so by casting a mail ballot. In the graph shown here, the orange and yellow lines show the declining polling place turnout, while the blue and gray lines depict the incline of voting by mail. In 2019, Hawaii lawmakers passed Act 136, implementing elections by mail statewide beginning with the 2020 elections. As a result of Act 136, all registered voters will automatically receive a mail ballot beginning this year. For those of you who are already registered to vote, you don't need to do anything further. However, we do want to stress the importance of maintaining an updated registration because ballots are not forwardable. If you have moved or changed your mailing address since the last election, be sure to update your voter registration. You can expect to receive your mail ballot packet about 18 days before Election Day. For the primary election, this will be around July 21st, and for the general election, sometime around October 16th. If you do not receive your ballot around this time frame, you can contact your clerk's office for the status of your ballot. Let's go over the contents of your mail ballot packet. Your ballot packet will arrive with everything you need to vote: a ballot, a secrecy sleeve, a return envelope, and voting instructions. Your first step is to review the instructions before you begin marking your ballot. We suggest reviewing all contests and be sure to check both sides. To mark your choice, use a black or blue pen and fill in the box to the left of your selection. After voting, refold your ballot and place inside the ballot secrecy sleeve. The secrecy sleeve ensures that your votes stay anonymous during processing. Next, place the sleeve in the return envelope. Finally, seal and sign the return envelope. Your signature is important because it's used to validate your identity. Therefore, if you do not sign, your vote will not be counted. To return your voted ballot, you can easily do so either by mail, at a ballot drop site, or at a voter service center. The return envelope is addressed and includes postage, so all you need to do is drop it in the mail. If you prefer to return your ballot in person, you can do so at a ballot drop site or voter service center. The locations and hours will be finalized and announced in May. So what happens after you return your ballot? Return ballots enter 3 phases: validation, opening, and counting. Once your ballot packet arrives back to the elections office, the barcode on the return envelope is scanned, which records that it has been received. This prevents anyone from voting more than once. Next, officials compare the signature on your return envelope with a reference signature on file. This process validates your ballot and confirms that you are the person casting the vote. If the signature on the envelope does not match, you'll be notified and given up to 5 business days after the election to resolve the issue. Once verified, your ballot packet is transferred to the counting center, where officials open the return envelopes and separate the contents. Your ballot is then separated from the secrecy sleeve and unfolded and prepared for processing. Next, your ballot is scanned and the counts are transmitted to the statewide counting center in Honolulu. The results are later released after the close of voting on Election Day. For those who prefer to vote in person, you still have the chance to do so at a voter service center. Similar to early voting locations in previous elections, such as Kapolei Hale, or pictured here, Honolulu Hale, several voter service centers will be established in each county. The locations will offer same-day registration and accessible voting options. As long as you have not already returned your ballot, you have the option to visit a voter service center instead. The locations will be open 10 days prior to and through Election Day, excluding Sundays. As mentioned earlier, details on the locations will be announced in May. The primary election is on Saturday, August 8th, and the general election is on Tuesday, November 3rd. As a reminder, your ballot must be received by 7 p.m. on Election Day to be counted. Now that you're equipped to participate in the elections, we encourage you to stay informed and to help spread the word about elections by mail with friends and family.